I been keep up playtime. I did get back to Diamond this season, so I'm happy about that, and still trying to work on things and keep trying to improve.
That's good. That's good you got back to Diamond. And what have you been working on so far at this point then?
So I think I have a habit of when I rank up a little bit. I remember it from when I went from gold to plat a while ago, and you were like, "Oh, you're not really playing the same. You're playing really passively, right?" Because
Yeah.
I was respecting players, right? So I have a tendency to do that. So I'm really trying to focus on continuing to make plays and take angles, but I've already noticed that I haven't really checked my stats, but that my damage I think is lower. Yeah, it's a good bit lower than it was even last season. It's like over 1,000 lower.
Well,
So
yeah. Well, at the same time, you play against better players too, and they might take less damage overall. Something to keep in mind. But
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, my
Hmm.
healing is up a little bit. I still think I'm doing things, like, I have made some plays for sure, but, I don't wanna fall kinda back into that habit of ranking up a little bit, then, respecting other players too much,
Hmm.
and still kinda have an impact myself, but I feel like I'm finding a better balance between trying to do things myself and playing with the team, so I don't know. I definitely have gotten better for sure overall, I think.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Any of the latest things you've been trying to implement? I remember I talked about the ult usage, the tempo stuff a little bit.
Yes.
So how that went
Mhm.
for you?
Yeah, so I think the I have really been trying to pay attention to my ult and at least get a kill. There's been some times I think where I may have not exactly needed it, but I did get a kill, so I felt like it was a okay trade-off. And
Hmm.
I haven't been as focused on the alt part because I've been getting value more often, and I can tell
Yes.
that it's making a difference. The tempo thing for sure, it's still kind of a learning thing as well, but even my deaths are lower so far this season, but I could still be playing too passively or something like that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm playing the correct tempo. But yeah, I mean, like there was an example where and the other thing I've noticed is, when I rank up a little higher, I mean, I know it's not masters or GM, but at least I've noticed in diamond that, and even some in higher plat, but definitely mainly in diamond, where my DPS take more advantage of opportunities. If I do damage, they'll get cleanup kills way more often, or kind of vice versa, where I can clean up some of the damage that they do. And I remember, like, there was a Rialto game where I think my tank was dead, and I think one of the DPS was dead, and maybe my Zen was coming back from spawn. But they were on first point. The where the cart is kind of in between those two buildings at the beginning
Oh
of the
yeah,
Rialto
pretty
game.
tough spot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my Mei, she ice blocked and then ulted in that spot and ended up freezing too. And she got killed right after that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. But I think in the past I kind of would have been like, oh, there's only Mei. I need to back up, back up. But I don't know. I just kind of took advantage of the ult and got two of them, and I used cover pretty well too because there was a cast. If you go out from point or out from spawn, you go to the right. There's like that little lane
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, I got it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So there was a cast there too, and I was behind cover, so they couldn't get me, and then I was behind cover, so Echo couldn't get me, and I got their Echo who got discorded by my Zen coming back, and I was like, I feel like that was a pretty good read from me of like not giving up on the fight and kind of realizing that my Mei ulted. So, but I'm sure there's still other opportunities I'm missing or I'm not doing things correctly. So, but I think I'm improving.
Do you feel like there's a pattern with the things you mentioned, something you're not doing correctly right now?
So the examples that I have, one was a consolation game, which I know you can still win those, but my I'm going back through. I've had pretty decent win rate this season. Yeah, like almost 70%. So doing pretty well so far. Um, I think I do better when my team plays more together, but it's harder for me to read. Like the example I have is from Oasis. And sometimes I've also noticed there's maps that I just don't feel as comfortable on. Like if it's Paraíso or Gibraltar, sometimes even Rialto, I feel like I do Kings Row, Hollywood. I I'm not gonna say I always know what to do, but I feel I tend to play better on those versus Oasis, Busan, sometimes Push, depending. So I don't know. So yeah, I think sometimes maybe on those maps, my team tends to spread out a little more or something, and I don't always know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And like I like I said, I'm trying to do this pretty much primarily with BAP. So I remember the last time I went back and checked my wins from when I hit Diamond 2, and I think my BAP win rate was a good bit lower than my Curie win rate. I think. Yeah, season 14.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was 19 and 23 that season with BAP, and I was 30 and 19 with Curie. And I think it's because I don't know. She tends to have a few get out of jail free cards with wall climb and teleport and Suzu, things like that. Whereas I don't know, I felt like it was easier sometimes for me to get value with Kiriko, but yeah, I don't know, maybe so it's kind of hard for me to identify a pattern, but maybe when my tank is not is being really aggressive, I should say. And
Interesting. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to support them and focus on, maybe the enemy as well. Because I remember that's something we went over to on a Par ESO game some weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember we did. Yeah, yeah, that was definitely the case. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but the game feels a little. It definitely feels a little faster right now.
yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. The higher you go, the faster the game is gonna be. The faster you need to be able to make those decisions. But you will adapt. I think the more you will be playing this, the how easier it's gonna be. Even for me, if I play the GM lobby, I think it's gonna be too fast for me at this time. I'm just
Mhm.
not playing as much. When if I'm comfortable, my main character, the ones I played before, maybe I invest more time, then it's fine. But yeah, I understand. I understand.
But it's really fun, honestly. The higher I go, I kind of feel like the more fun the games get, and it's where I don't know, you just kind of get crazy Overwatch stuff I don't know, it feels more team coordinated the
Yeah.
higher I go.
Yeah, so you find it more fun because it's more coordinated in a way.
I think so. Yeah, like if if my teammate kind of say goes out of position, they get a kill like way more often, even if they die. Whereas in lower rank, it's like if they're out of position, they pretty much just die without any value. So things feel more even. Oh, and also it kind of felt in lower rank where if the tank dies, you lose the fight. Whereas here, and again, I'm not saying it's the highest rank ever or anything like that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it feels like, as I've noticed as I climb a little bit, that it's more about, it tends to more often feel like it's about the numbers versus which particular role died. So sometimes I've won fights where my tank dies, but one of their supports die and it's 4v4 and we win the fight. Which tended to not happen as often, in lower plat.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think we can just quickly look, see how the game's been for you so far. And
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, this one was a tough one for me to kind of figure out. I played this one yesterday. I'll send it to you. I played it yesterday, so I haven't really gone over it a ton yet. But yeah, looking back, my damage is really low. It's only 4,500,
Mhm.
and my healing is only 12,000.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, the healing's okay, I guess, but their damage, the enemy, one is 9,300, the other is 8,400. Although their healing is way lower. So I don't know. I feel like this game felt kind of fast, and I got lucky not to die sometimes. But I haven't really reviewed it yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, so you wanna watch that one?
Yeah, it's an Oasis game.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, Oasis. Yeah, is there anything else what you wanna add before we start looking into some of your replays a little bit more?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Then let's start with Oasis. I remember some of the things we wanted to discuss potentially how to adapt depending on the team comp. Maybe that can be pretty good to look at. Maybe there's something else as well, just
Okay.
related to our previous themes, but so far.
I remember.
Mhm.
I think in this game, I remember thinking, okay, I probably want to be up here. I'll show you on the once we watch it. I'll show you.
Yeah, of course.
But then my team was pushed up a little bit, from what I remember. I could be wrong.
Yeah, of course. Okay, we can take a look. Can you see this too?
Uh, yeah.
Do you like new character? Wu Yang?
Uh, I kind of like playing against him.
Why is that the case?
I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like people haven't really figured out how to be really good with him yet. So I tend to get value against him more often. Usually, if they have a Wu Yang, I've won this. I've won the game. This is one of the only losses I've had. The other team has a Wu Yang.
Oh yeah, oh
He's all
yeah.
right.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Maybe I'll play him in the future.
Yeah, it's quite
I,
fun.
I barely see anybody. I've only seen one person with a higher hero level than me.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting.
That was a mercy.
Well, it might be me on one of the accounts. I might have higher level than you.
I bet you do, yeah. But in my rank, it's really the only one mercy that was in the 200s.
Yeah, yeah, understandable. Okay. So what do you think? About looking at your comp, maybe also anticipating. We again don't know their comp entirely, but yeah, what do you think? How do you want to play?
Yeah, so I mean, I know that kind of my Rhine sim. I actually remember thinking that I wanted to play kind of with my Cass a bit, maybe a little behind them, because the other three are gonna want to get closer. Sim will probably TP to off angles, and use her beam, and obviously Ryan wants to get closer as well. This is where I struggled a bit. I think again, this and I said this last time that I had a Ryan that pushed up a lot. I'm not saying at all that they're playing incorrectly or anything like that.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just sometimes I don't know how to capitalize myself on how they're playing. So in this one, the Rhine charges a lot. I from what I remember, and I'm genuinely like not able to heal. They're out of my LOS, and I don't know where I should be rotating or kind of what I should be focusing on. So yeah, and I think kind of in general, I want to be kind of on angles, I guess, and hopefully just see some of my team and try to support them and help Cass out.
Yeah, I think you're right. Overall, you just get a quick rundown. Your composition is pretty brawl short range oriented. You guys
Hmm.
have a lot of healing output with this comp because of the Moira and because of you as a BAP. So I think if you play BAP with this comp, it's quite good if you look for more damage output and exactly supporting angles a little bit more. Even though you're quite good in supporting the brawl, I think at the same time put attention on angles, but if the brawl frontline does stuff like Orion, you can also support them a little bit more. But ultimately,
Hmm.
your Moira is also pretty good at this stuff. So I definitely think take advantage of the angle as much as possible, just making sure we're not going as deep, so the Adventure and Tracer is not going to punish you as much because you don't have too much angles pressure. You kind of have the scarcity overall. Like you said,
Hmm.
you might support them a little bit more. They most likely will be taking an off angle. Something to keep in mind. But
You
yeah.
did remind me. I have been trying to think a bit about who I should be playing with and kind of who on my team I can help. So I did think I remember when we started talking about that. I did think about that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. This map is pretty limited of its options with angles, though. So you kind of just keep this left angle and main clear, I think, and just make sure that support any activity at this time. Well, I think the first
Hmm.
fight ended up okay-ish. You guys able to stabilize here comfortably. Okay, just slight more damage output starting here. Yeah, this is good. Okay, just a little bit damage output. You just don't want to let them walk in for free. Going for more damage,
Yeah,
sure.
I backed out because I was just kind of worried about them walking up.
Makes sense. Okay, we'll lump
That I
this.
could put around the corner.
Yeah, so seeing here, like lamp at the corner.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
I did snap lamp because I'd already used my shift,
yeah.
and I should have. That's another thing I didn't talk about it, but specifically trying to focus on my lamp placement. That was one of the offline review things, I think. So sometimes maybe not.
Yeah, that
I
was the
can't remember
one.
the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was one on um, Hollywood First Point that I had that I'm pretty sure won us the fight because I did it around the corner. So that is something that I have been trying. I think my focus, yeah, this game I was trying to focus on maintaining kind of a more of a medium angle and maintaining good good distance where I play at Bap's range instead of being super close range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I messed up the lamp there.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. It just generally speaking, I anticipate that this guy's gonna go around the corner usually, so it's okay if he plays the lamp at the corner. If they still pick out and go in the open, that's not your problem. You're just trying to maintain their life as much as possible. Well, still, in terms of just who your lamp is okay. They've been the most active. You secure the kill afterwards because of it. That's good. Patience is always nice too, so the enemy makes more commitment. In here, the window.
Bad window, I remember.
Mm-hmm. How do you think you can be placing it in a better way in here?
I feel like I should wait for them and be further back a little bit. I don't think I should push up anymore. The reason that's my thought process is because of JQ. I mean, even Wuyong does decent damage.
Mhm.
So I thought that they would walk in here, and also that my sim would try to put some pressure. And so I thought that maybe we could kind of sandwich them,
Mhm.
but maybe I should have even like Cass is already low. I don't know where my Ryan is right now. I can't remember if he died and he's coming back from
They
spawn.
are. Yeah, let's just watch this. They are pushing this on the right side.
Yeah, so maybe even yeah, if my Ryan is there, I could probably it might even be okay to jump over the wall and lamp in the hole, or not lamp, but window in that whole hallway. So then they can't. Then if they back up, if they cross back to the other side, then they're
Mhm.
in the window range. When I say the other side, I mean like back towards their spawn.
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm.
And if they go backwards, then they're still in window range as well. And then my sim is behind with turrets. I just remember thinking, oh, JQ's going to push in here. I need to I window too quickly, and I think a couple of my windows this game are not great.
Mm, mm, mhm. I see. I think it's good to look through the lens of just comp a little bit. Maybe that is something what you can focus on
Okay.
later. I think this helps. So, like I said, it's one part about your position was how you position on the map, generally speaking, what we lean towards. Of course, there's some nuances. Maybe sometimes you can be in the front line, but mainly it's just us trying to take an angle because you're the one who is capable of doing so, and it just overall this increases the damage output this way. So I think it's one of the usages. Maybe you search for an off angle, and then you can start from there. And another thing, when you're starting from those angles, I think you need to think about enabling the role, what space they're pushing. So ultimately, you look at the characters, and like I said, okay, my sim can make the push, or my Ryan can make the push, the Cassidy
Uh-huh.
can make the push. And if this is going to be short range sideline for them, then your window is usually comfortable because if they're able to capitalize with this window, let's say you window here and my Ryan, like I window this way, my Ryan is able to push
Right.
in because those guys are trying to hide around A and then Sim is pushing too. This is going to be really uncomfortable. This window is okay, but it can be even better at enabling the brawl. It may be also another option is if your team is not pushing this space here, kind of red over here, then you can start thinking about this space here in the choke and let them push in later, but then probably, you might even just be here by yourself, to be honest. This is going to be one of your angles options. Just trying to be on the angle as much as possible. If you lean towards the right, you probably, the only option is you kind of be on this ledge a little bit, but you probably will drop eventually. Just something to think about, just slightly. So you can increase the crossfire a little bit. That's all I think for the most part. The biggest part is really what I'm trying to enable. What is the win condition here? I think it's a little bit too early. Is
Yeah.
might be not enough. I think you need the big stuff from your team. Might be good if you're thinking about enabling your role or just any composition of role is of what ultimates they have. Maybe what abilities they have to. So when you make this window push, they may have high opportunity to capitalize of their abilities too. You may not need the second ultimate, like maybe we don't need the shadow because your window was really good to get a lot of value, but just in case, that's also pretty good too. That's what I think. Just probably you need slight more push from these guys. They maybe make the commitment towards the short range space, then you're ready do that stuff too. Stuff
Yep.
like that, I think. So I'm just gonna put it this way. Enable activity. Enable a big, I'd say, resources. Yeah, it's just gonna be ultimates, cooldowns, whatever you have. Your team composition. What are the big cooldowns, by the way? You can play around in general because you have role.
Yeah, including alt.
Well, let's well, sure. Okay, that's the ultimate and the cooldowns. Yeah.
Right, so Shatter, High Noon, um, and then TP. Like if Sim is TPing on an angle against them,
Yes.
Rhine charge. Rhine charge.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Shatter.
Run charge seemed to be probably one of the two biggest. Maybe cast flash, but that's more niche. I think mostly it's gonna be those abilities, like you mentioned. So once you're able to make the push, you kind of you can go for it. Just a bit early, but you can go for later. There's still pretty okay window because Ryan can try to rotate. The Sim was pushing, but I think it just slight more let them do
Mhm.
something. And then it will be easy. It's usually you're trying to fight
Yeah.
for making it easy for short range mobbers to punish anybody who is stuck in enclosed space. They could push that. That's gonna be comfortable, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the enemy team, they have slightly more poke, even though they pretty broadly too. But they have Zenyatta, and I think as long as you force them in a short range space, keep playing there, it's pretty nice. Yeah. Okay, trying to deal with the Tracer, and then Vuya. And then you just gotta kill on us there too. What do you
I
think
did have
about
my
here?
lamp.
Hmm.
I could have lamped and lived that. I think it's okay to fight Tracer on the side.
So kind of lamp here to fight her?
No, no. When I rotate back, I could have lamped. Like now.
Mm-hmm.
I could have
Possibly.
lamped.
If you expect this, though, is this guy's jumping in pretty, pretty instantly? Well, you can hear that potentially, maybe. Just one of the things to keep in mind. They
Maybe,
have this jump.
yeah. I need to get more used to the sounds, I think, from that hero.
Yeah, yeah. Because it
Which I
kind of...
extract.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're kind of safe from the Tracer when you go there, but this young, they make a commitment, then becomes harder. So at this point, it might be not as easy to win this duel here. It's fine though. Okay, you guys make the push, sure, save the Rhine, lamp, that's fine. Keep pushing. Well, just don't have as many options here if they go inside the room.
Got ulted. And I'd already used my lamp on the
Yeah,
Tracer ult.
yeah. Well, it's okay. I think. Not sure. Like it's
It's
whatever. The lamp is okay in here. I think just prevent the deaths. Maybe it's not too bad for sure. You also get the kill afterwards. You guys get the Junker Queen. I'm not too sure because this is one of the things. You need to be on the angles, but at the same time need to support the activity. I don't know.
mhm, mhm.
Maybe you
I
shouldn't be in
remember.
here in the first place
Okay.
because your idea is to be on the angles, do damage, and let Moira heal over this frontline pressure if she can.
Okay.
So what if you don't go here, but you go here or something? You just I don't know, open up the angle this way if you want to support this at the same time do damage. What do you think?
Yeah. No, it's different than that midtown where there's no windows at all into the train.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely an opportunity. I also think that I was like, oh man, my Ryan's pushing. I need to help them. And I did think about like I don't know, like right before JQ used alt, Zen fired a volley that got me kind of low.
This is true. And just
And
mhm.
I would have died to that, I think, a couple weeks ago. But I really thought, oh, Zen could just like I got out of the way a little bit. And I'm sure they missed some too. But yeah, I probably could try and go to the side.
Yeah, I think it's
And
just by default, if it's possible, especially with the two main subs. Let's keep it this way, yeah. The main two subs, especially, this gives you more flexibility. Yes, if there's really no other choice when you're supporting those active guys, you can't do it from the angle. Like we talked about that mid down part. Then sure, here if there's possibility, then it's okay. Let's say you have Zenyatta. On your team, that will be a different story. I think you're okay at here, and your Zenyatta takes an angle, usually. Especially if you see them doing so. They probably will play along the sideline, or try to just go from the off angle. You will be with your front line here a little bit more. But with the Moira, I think it's more concerning, usually. Well, the fact given they also have Junker Queen ult. So it's just
yeah,
one of the things to keep in
okay,
mind, too. But yeah, just by default, some of the nuances, yeah, I think the more you play these is gonna be, you kind of know, okay, this is the role, okay, I have two main subs, okay, we maybe play against this comp, what do we do? So this way it becomes even easier. Yeah, like, challenging the angles, like, I think it's fine, to be honest, even though you ult
okay.
here, I think it's okay, you win the angle control. After that, I can establish my pressure from here, maybe you can support those active guys, fine. And it worked out okay, too. Yeah. I think
Okay,
it's
that's what
alright.
I meant to when I said sometimes I use my ult, but I get a kill.
Yeah. This is good, because your team's been active too. There's a good time. You need the tempo anyway. So your team's fighting somewhere, you have this 5v5, you need to get an
Mhm.
advantage, ult is good. Anyway, it's the last fight, so regardless, you need to do something. You need to just
Yeah.
make sure you secure this. Okay. Yeah, that was a good example, I think. Kind of fought for the angles.
This
Now,
point, this one is always feels just so awkward for me.
yeah, need to somehow, with your angles mostly high ground, it feels. If you can get there.
I see.
I
Okay,
not too
and this is what I
sure.
meant too. Of like, I didn't know what I should be doing right now when my Rhine is pretty far up. Like, should I have moved up already? My team was also getting pressured. Am I looking for an angle for myself? Or that's what I mean when I say it
You,
always feels super
yeah.
awkward for me.
You just need to, okay, based on where the enemy team is, they're
Mhm.
all go on point. So what do you think? What is your angles option, possibly?
I mean, I could. Is there anyone? Yeah, it's just a Zen. But see, I wasn't exactly sure because I think my Myra got really low. I wasn't exactly sure who was on point
Mm-hmm.
yet.
It's kind of starts here, yeah? They start rotating. You saw the sim, not sure you saw the Jenka Queen. I think it's
So
mainly
see,
here.
because they're both taking about a lot
Mm-hmm.
of damage, I thought there were still people over there.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then Myra got low again when they crossed.
Yeah, a little bit tough. A little bit tough.
Again,
Uh,
I'm not saying anyone's doing anything wrong. I'm saying I didn't know it's kind of what to do myself.
At this point, with the brawl, the thing is, you usually expect people to be fighting for the short range spaces, like you said. So you have angles which are allowing you to do so. So kind of
Hmm.
usually leaning away from here to either point control or you fight inside the rooms. Then you should set up somewhere over here. I think if a team starts here, might be not bad to even go over there. Maybe you can find an option to sometimes rotate on the top as well. Maybe something like that will make it easy, to be honest. Because, yeah, it's a bit tough. You need the angle control, really. Like, at this time, yeah, you guys got to picks, it should be okay.
Right.
Now, on
Yeah.
defense, you have more time for angle control. So, yeah, exactly. I think the middle part is okay eventually. At the start, damage is fine, and then go to the middle part, and then they go on the high ground in the back. Like here, you should. I think you can go on the top right away. Don't stay here. You just so you
Okay.
have options. You can have options here, and then you have this angles pressure while your front line does something as well. But you still can support your front line from the angle too. Yeah, like you jump in here. Just can do it instantly. It's fine. Yeah. I don't think you can help out this guy as much at this point.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
Well, I tried to. It's just lamp placement. Yeah, I think the lamp is fine. Just place it in the corner. But
Timing is fine. Just
other
place it
than
better.
that, yeah. Well, you can you try your best. Well, maybe you can hit uh, as much hit as possible. But if he dies, he dies. It's okay. Now, yeah, okay. It's all right, I think. Yeah. Be careful of the short range. Probably just need to play for the point. You're losing the point probably, but it is buying more time. You may even recontest. Yeah, this is good rotation. Sure. Your Ryan gets back. You're trying to support them. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Maybe you guys can touch. Yeah, they have the tempo at this point. They might capture.
You're right.
Ah, well, yeah. I mean, they did capture. So, okay, resetting. Sure. At this time, Soren runs back. Okay. This is a little bit tough.
This is where I don't know like what I should be doing. I feel like my team's I'm really not trying to blame them. I'm just saying what it feels like. It feels like they're just kind of dying, kind of going in by themselves
Yeah.
and dying.
At this time, it's okay if you stabilize. Even though you use the lamp, you get your lamp back for the actual fight. So it's not bad if you sort of waste your lamp. Like, if that would be
All
active
right.
fight, then sure, you don't probably don't lamp. But in here, you know that the enemy team have more tempo. So,
Yes, they might be pushing. I remember that was another, I think one of the offline comments where it was on Ilios and I died to a Cass. And you said that they have the advantage, so they're probably going to push these angles, so you should be ready for that.
mhm.
Maybe it's something similar, or I can just save my cast with the lamp right there.
So we can put it this way: a defensive lamp or stabilize in poke phase more. So poke phase, I mean, when you get in numbers back ultimately, and you
Right.
have time to stabilize before the brawl phase, so you get your lamp back. The lamp cooldown is not as big right now. I think before it used to be pretty big. Right now, it's okay. Like how many seconds? Like
22.
14. Yeah, 14. Oh wait.
That's shift. Lamp is like 22.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh yeah. Actually, yeah. I think. Yeah, before, well, it used to be bigger. Well, 20 is still decent, but anyway, I think you get your lamp back. If it's 20 seconds,
maybe?
yeah, I can check.
Yeah,
I can check it. I can check if it's needed. Give me a second. Okay, can go on. Okay, Overwatch Wiki. Yeah, sometimes I forget the numbers, but yeah, I always feel during the poke phase, you have this 10 seconds when your team comes back, at least, then you have 10 seconds when you're pushing, so usually it's alright. It's kind of around those numbers,
Oh,
to
it's
be honest.
25. So,
Yeah, 20,
actually.
25, okay. Yeah, it should be okay, anyway. Should be alright. I think as long as you find a spawn, it's kind of at this point.
But I could have saved him with lamp, you're saying,
maybe.
just to make sure he doesn't die right there.
Yeah. It just usually the pattern is lamp for the poke phase is okay-ish, usually. Because there might be some cases where it's not, but I think it's relatively comfortable.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the window.
Was not happy?
I wasn't happy with this window.
What do you think you could be doing in here?
Yeah, I probably could be rotating with my Rhine, honestly.
Rotate with your Ryan, please, window behind him.
Maybe. Or, because the thing is, see, my Rhine has been dying a lot, so
Remember your first window. What did we just mention? What's good? But what do you need to do with your window when you play with your brawl so far?
Yeah, enable them was one of the things that we said. So that's why I'm saying behind. And I know you might say, are you going to say like walk in further to the side or?
Yeah, because the question is, can you enable the brawl but do it from the angle? Ideally, this is what you want to do, I think. Okay. In here, it feels that you enable from the angle, but this is not enabling the brawl because Oh, it sort of does, but it just feels that you guys push in this space, so ultimately, if I put the window this way, where I force those guys to play like this way or inside the building, then this makes it easy for my bro Ryan to push, my Mora to push. Like, this is also
Yeah,
relatively fine because you maybe make them hide around here, but this is still...
I remember being annoyed by the window
Mm-hmm.
when I did it.
Yeah, I think in this case it's okay if you walk in. The angles is not bad. You maybe even think about just put it in the window in here. To be honest, the window with this small window. I don't know. At this point, it feels this side is okay-ish. To be honest, you just
Okay,
need to
okay.
make
Keep
sure you
further
guys
up.
contribute into the space comfortably. The same space will be much better. Kind of take space for the window. If you can do it from the angle, perfect. If not, sometimes maps are not allowing you to. Then just stack with your bro, they walk, okay, you use the window, the enemies hide in the buildings, you push them, and you win the space. And kinda... And you guys shouldn't be... this is really uncomfortable. When you walk to the open, you just need to walk through here, take top, and this is gonna be fine. And you may also probably approach it from the angle too, while your team does this. This would be the most ideal scenario. You guys keep walking from the open, so it becomes more complicated too at this point. That's okay, you cannot control your team entirely. Well, the only thing is, the pressure was you roll the angles, a lamp for defensive, just when you stabilize in the poke phase would be okay. Corner's lamp, yeah, it's been the case, like from offline water view, yeah, helps out a
Mhm.
lot too. Yeah, it is more open map, so reasonable swaps from your team to Surge. I think Live Fever, well, it's okay. I think it's fine. Live Fever can be pretty annoying with all the sustain, with all the utility. You just fight
Mhm.
something. Well... Yeah, trying to live, trying to live. Yeah, you kind of need to make sure you're contesting this top. Okay, what do you think about this fight overall? What do you feel like?
That's I was lucky to live, and I probably should have tried to stay on high ground, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I think that's the only... this is what comes to mind, really. You have so much utility, so I
Yeah.
think if it's possible, you may
Oh, I
try...
think I got nervous about JQ up there, but I could
Mhm.
also bait her down and then jump back up,
Yeah, it's kind of
potentially.
like once she does this, you basically you need to play over here though, I think, and then it's easier to jump because this will... Well, can you make this? Well, from here you cannot, right? Well, you
No,
can
not.
jump here and
Well, with the
there.
perk, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, definitely from here to here. Uh,
Yeah.
but you can also do it from here to here. Yeah, bait her down, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna keep the angles option. Like I said, with the brawl, I think this will be fine. Which is
There I
the
tried, and I hit the
life you...
pedal. Yeah, I hit the pedal. I
the
tried to get back up.
yeah, life you were just
I was freaking out here, though. Like, I was like, "Oh, I'm lucky to be alive." I thought
they
I was
put
dead
they,
times.
they put the trap for us. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, this is the time. Stabilize lamp, fine. Your Ryan is eating all the resources. A little bit
Right.
uncomfortable.
That okay. So it's not so this particular example, I'm doing the right thing with
I
at least trying to
mean,
support them.
well, I don't think you can let them die either. I mean, the triggers, we talked about the triggers all the time, and
Right.
so,
Yeah.
and it feels like, based on all the triggers, this guy is receiving all the pressure in the world. He's 1 HP. You may place the lamp in the corner, that's the only thing. But other than that, yeah,
Okay.
you guys missing out on a lot of defensive utility now. Because this guy went a
Huh?
little bit too hard. Yeah, fighting angle's fine. Even using your own resources to fight. Yeah, I like this. I like this. If you're gonna do this, this is
Okay.
perfect. Okay, angles, Ryan's low, sure. What about your window next? Angles preferably. Yeah, come. Not sure. What can you do in here? There's so much pressure in the air.
I don't
Start
know.
rotating. You have the perk too, right? What if you place the lamp? What if you go here and you set up on the angle? What do you think?
Yeah, I can try.
So I think it's really uncomfortable against a lot of characters like Tracer. They have horizontal mobility too. I think it's fine. You maintain this, you let them drop. Maybe they chase you, you go back up. Yeah, I'm sure you got there, but I think it's nice. If you can place the window like just you did to get a kill, you got an angle, trying to get a kill, sustain the tempo. I think it's fine. From here, there are less options for us to. Yeah, the high ground's really important. It's usually you ult here, you can ult for the middle. I think this allows you to secure all this space comfortably. Yeah, this is fine. I think you kind of at this point got a kill, and your bro is not able to do much, but at least you may try to resustain, get some map control. You need to move an angle from here, though. I think you need to somehow think. Where can you go next? Yeah, at this point it's just from here to here, probably.
Okay.
We cast pushes. You will be setting up. You, by the way, remember talking about Cass, helping him out too. I think it's good if you can do that too. Yeah, it just feels that with your perks are the more take that to take the angles more will be fine. Doing those fights here, the chaotic ones too. Just being always aware. That's what's good about the BAP now, I think. You have so much mobility, so it's great. You're not only jumping up and down, but you can always kind of go from the position where you're at and then jump left, jump right. Helps out a lot. Okay, this is good. Helping them out. Fight the Tracer. Keep her busy. Nothing else you can do. Help out the Junkrat. Probably go middle and fight the angle. That's fine. If you have an advantage, you can keep pushing. What about your window going forward? From here, it's the same thing. If your brawl fights here, ideally, if I maybe angled it this way, you can also try to, if there's no option to angle it this way, then at least we angle here, maybe force them inside the room or something. This is also can be okay. Just enable your brawl. I think brawl, enable the win con, enable the brawl, and then also try to think about if there's an angle option to a more angle control, especially with two main, with too much healing, with two main subs. Yeah, we call those main subs. Just when you have a lot of healing utility, I think there's not too much. With the more, there's not too much offensive utility. Yeah, at this point. Well, it seems your team gave up some space at this point. Then we stand here, your Ryan pushes up. What do you think? What should you done with your window at this point?
Yeah, I mean, maybe even because I have a wall to jump over if I get pushed, so maybe even doing it more kind of in the open where to the right of the stairs a little bit.
Yeah, because now I think this helps to enable a brawl too. It's not too bad, it feels. Yeah, and like we said, the triggers. What the big cooldowns to play around. I'm playing around big stuff. Ultimates resources. So ultimates, you got Junkrat Tire, you got Tron, Shatter, more coalescence stuff to play around, I think. Probably help them out. First, try to position in a way. Try to position the way so once they're pushing in, especially with the charge, yeah, you kind of commit. You probably get the GQ and sustain Ryan, maybe get someone else, force out something. You probably will force out Transcendence, but at least you can give up the space later, you can jump, you can get an angle here. Now, yeah, just kind of, they have a little bit too much space. and at the end the window is not going to be doing too much. With a brawl, the thing is, against the pro comps, you need to start early too, a little bit early. It's not as like, yes, it's important to wait for them to make a commitment, but you need to understand that it's usually uh, happening earlier and in a short range space. Window for open is good, but with the brawl, there's a tendency of fighting for enclosed spaces more too. So you kind of hold the open at the same time. Like, let's say here, this is a pretty long sideline, but my team, the brawl team, they able to fight it from here, the short distance. Or let's say you even position the window here, and my team is fighting this. Whatever the
Yeah, that's
buildings.
what I meant when I said like the right of the stairs. It's
Yeah,
this second
yeah, exactly. That would be
here.
just fine. Yeah, that would be just
Okay.
fine. I think even better. Yeah, compared to this to short range. So if you can do that, that's okay. That's what I mean. Kind of all for open.
Okay.
Yes, I'm enabling the brawl. I also do it from the angle. Would be much better at this point. Yeah, I think that's about it for the most part. Pretty nuanced related to the brawl, but I think it's good if you keep in mind what
Mm.
is the comp you play with, and then it makes it easy. We may also review any other comps if you have those. We can take a look at those, see how you can adapt there. During the game, I'm not sure. We could try do that as well and see how we can adapt there too. But yeah, what do you think? Do you want to do more of a what do you just maybe if we have any different matchups, we could take a look at
I want to
those.
play.
We could try. I think it's more in the game. It's more dynamic. Let's try. Let's see.
I don't know off the top of my head. I guess I can look at game reports and see. Let me check this one. So this one is no because it's Soldier, Zen, Cass, and Rhine. What about this one? No, that's more poke. Watch point, no.
You might be uncomfortable with dive, 100%. With BAP, it's really hard. I think maybe worth to look at. With poke, it's easier
Okay, let me.
to make commitment in the open.
Yeah, it is easier with poke.
Mm.
Uh,
With brawl, it's easier in a way because the team is tend to play more stacked. But yeah, it's just keep in mind the short range sidelines for your brawl. Enable air push a little bit more.
this one is Diva, Reaper, Genji, Wu Yang.
Reaper. Yeah, sounds pretty good, I think.
Okay, I think I played pretty poorly on this one. It was some days ago, so I don't really remember. But we can try. It's also a map that I'm never comfortable on. Wait, can you give me like 2 minutes?
Yeah, of course. Take your time.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. So, what do you think
Okay.
about this game?
Uh, I don't remember it that well. I think I got carried. Oh, the thing about this game, I was lagging really hard.
Hmm.
That's part of another thing. But I'm never really comfortable on this map anyway, so maybe it's a good thing to review.
Yeah. So do you want to review that one then? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, sure. It's
There's a
okay.
bunch of points in this game I was lagging, but my positioning doesn't really get affected by that. Where I'm playing.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, what do you think?
Oh, but yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I remember thinking, why did they switch off of ball? They would have won.
Oh,
Yeah.
they so they eventually did one. You won that game too.
Yeah, so we win this game overall, but I think we get beat pretty bad on this first one. And then they're not doing too bad on the second one either. But I think they lose a fight or maybe two, and their tank swaps off a ball, and then they never. Then they lose that. I feel like they would have won had they stayed on ball. So maybe this is a good example.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think your matchup versus theirs? How do you play this?
I was trying to think of staying closer to, like, 'cause I know my diva's gonna want to go in. Reaper wants to go in. Sojourn wants to take angles and then get out quickly. Well, I don't play Sojourn, but that's what I would think. And Wu Yang's kind of medium range, if I
Yeah.
know that correctly. So I was thinking of trying to play with him maybe. And they're mainly, you know, closer range.
Yes.
Ball, Tracer, Kiri. The only one is Sojourn.
Yeah, exactly.
So it seems like a lot of, let's see, 3 out of 5 on my team. No, sorry. Yeah, 3 out of 5 on my team are closer range, and 2 of us are more medium-ish.
Mm-hmm. So what it
So it
means
seems
for
like
you?
I want to support the space
Mm-hmm.
that like Diva's trying to take
Mm-hmm.
from an angle similarly to the last game would be what I think.
What do you guys are stronger at compared to the enemy team?
Poke.
Yeah, I think I think it's
Yeah.
stronger at this suit. At the same time, you guys you have the Reaper and Diva, so that is something you want to enable too. That is what I mean. You kind of I don't want necessarily look through the lens of, oh, we have Brawl, that's how you play.
Mhm.
You kind of look through the lens of this particular team is stronger at brawling versus theirs, or stronger, like in this case, stronger with poking against theirs. If he would have this team, full dive versus this
Mhm.
team, then this would be a different story where we're trying to make sure they would capitalize of the short range as much as possible, like we did with the brawl. But the difference is that the space the dive takes is pretty volatile and it can change all the time. So here the idea
Yeah.
is you play like you would do with Spook, I think, for the most part. Because you just need to keep the long sideline, keep the distance. And here, if you get too greedy with the angles, you also get punished. So you need to take angles so the second support can be also supporting you a little bit more. And that's kind of what happens, kind of isolated at the end. That's why you die. That's it. You just need to, if your team starts making this rotation, especially when you use the lamp. Where should you go at this point?
Should jump off.
Yeah, I think
Just fall off.
just
What's the point?
keep playing. Yeah, keep playing distance and angles. Off angles are good, but the ones to support the long range space. So ideally, if I'm here at the end, this is really good. And then you can keep shooting those guys. This is just how you play with the poke, I think. Now just too short range, and it'll be difficult. Yes, we support the Diva occasionally Reaper, but less important. I think it's
Okay.
mostly poke capabilities so far, to be honest. Yeah, maybe if you ever get like full dive team, but this is where I'm really concerned. You're playing Baptiste, I'm thinking the gear card is always good, but yeah, in this case it's just
I
more.
know, but I'm I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I've just heard that it's the best thing is to try and play your character into disadvantageous situations.
Well, the thing is, mm,
Yeah.
eventually there will be a point, like in Syria, right? You were thinking there will be a point where we will be playing the character like Kiriko with the dive, right? Let's say you're in the GM, right? You'll be thinking, oh, I'll be playing there. But this is the thing. This is what a lot of content creators probably say. Yes, it's good to play in disadvantageous situations, but it's only good to that point where you trying to learn how to push the limits, how to be more in control of the game, and it's more for average players. Like whenever you reach the point where it's above average, which you are, you need to practice the character in the situations which you would play. So let's say I wouldn't play the BAP in the dive. I don't think it's the best. Well, you could, and I did the same too. You could play the characters in the less favorable matchup, but it's harder ultimately, and it's not that like you're trying to avoid the let's say the pressure or something, like play too safe, because this is the main point. Yeah, like learn to to make sure the players learn how to not avoid the difficulty, right, but challenge it. And if you already know this concept, you can play the characters you're more comfortable with, and you should be more comfortable with in this particular scenario, and just practice it there. It's kind of to give you an analogy. Let's say I'm trying to think. It's just you let's say I don't know. Just like I'm trying to think about an analogy, and nothing comes to mind. But it's just doing something what makes sense and where you would be practicing that. That would be better. Let's say I want to do Let's say I want to do rock climbing. Okay, like ultimately I could try to just go in a city and try to wall climb some sort of building there. But it would be pretty hard. But I'm trying to do wall climbing ultimately in the mountain somewhere, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just supposed to be climbing in there and just learn how to do it there. But then I also try to do it somewhere else. When in a city, you might, I don't know, you do some other activities, right? I don't
Right.
know, this weird analogy, but I'm just trying to think.
I think I
It's
get
just
what you're
you
saying.
trying to play the character and make sure you sneak in as much as possible while you and play the character not because it's like it's that you're trying to avoid the difficult scenarios, but it just becomes more valuable. It's more advantageous. Those situations you playing with the dive, it's more useful for you to play the something like dive character as well. You just applying for the same win condition, trying to make sure this works out quite well. That's why the top tier they adapt the character. Yeah, it's not because they like I'm trying to counter swap. Yeah, to win this 1v1, or like
Mhm.
I'm just concerned about this and this here. Yeah, they're more swap because okay, I need to make sure I sneak in more value. This is more useful, easier in a way, in a good way to play that other character. So it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Mm. And I think you learned this concept where you're trying to challenge yourself pretty good too. So I don't think you have to stick to that one character. Like I said, it's okay if you have different characters too. Like in this case, Pap is okay though, but I just was talking about the if you play with the dive, with the full dive.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
You said this
sense.
last time too. Last time, I don't know if you remember, long time when I first got to Diamond last year is when you said, "Okay, you should learn a different character now." And we had not the same conversation. And it wasn't like this, but basically that's when you're like, "Yeah, you can learn Kiriko." And then I started playing her even more than BAP once I got decent with her. Um, but do you think? Because even now, and again, like I'm asking, to learn. Diamond is not really that high. You know what I mean? Like It's not Masters, and it's not GM.
Oh, it's true, but if the idea was originally to play the character in situations where it's where you would be playing the character, yeah, like in Dive, I wouldn't be playing Bab, so well, it doesn't matter what SR you are, ultimately. Even though in Gold, if you already learn the concept of how to challenge and approach those angles, yeah, how to stay proactive, I'm fine with you going out the character. It's okay. It's just on average, it's usually better to also invest more time in one character, and then there's going to be a second one you can start adding to it because you learned that idea already of how to be proactive. Doesn't matter what the star you are. I think you can start adding the character as soon as you're comfortable with. Well, I don't think the SAR is the something you have to start with. And I think there's some coaches out there, they have pretty similar opinion. Well, it might be some other reasonings added to this, but maybe if you watch somebody like Spyler, he has the same idea. I think there's some good uh, creators out there, like good coaches out there too from Overwatch League. They offer coaching to they have similar opinions too. I'm not saying that you have to, because they say you have to do the same, but it's just how usually it works from perspective of the coach and the player too. It's always more valuable to have those options. And if I'm playing,
Okay.
for example, before I would just want to grind to some point, then I recognize, okay, I have dive
Right.
team, I could be playing the Winston there. I can sneak in more value. Oh, I become more useful. I can help out my team more. I started doing that relatively soon as well. But my point was being, I do enjoy the run so much, so I kept playing him. But in theory, if I do enjoy the characters 50-50, which I was at some point, I would just swap based on the big picture, team comps, map, the enemy comp, and then I swap to add more value. Because I don't know, I wouldn't play Ryan or Numbani attack before. It would be just so hard. That's unnecessarily hard. I could be just making it easy, and it's not that I'm trying to avoid difficult situation. I'm just being reasonable, saying, well, this is okay for me to play Winston because I have dive. I have this high grounds to control. I'm playing Gibraltar, so why why do I have to struggle that
So,
much?
are you saying I've kind of already learned the concept? I'm not doing the thing where it's just, oh, they have this. I need to swap to this character.
Yeah, I think you need to
It's
add this to your picture more, for sure. I would do that for sure. Even
all
though there's
right.
some
Damn it.
content creators out there where they say that it's different, you can play this character. But to be honest, for most players, I don't think this is good advice. Yeah, well, they got so good at this point where they could do a rank 2 GMs, one character. I could do that as well, but to be able to do that, they also, the parts of the learning curve is you add more characters, and let's say I'm playing 3, I get to the top level, it'll be easier for you to do on rank to GM at the end, because you learn same concepts, but it's just those are transferable to other characters as well. Maybe at the end you'll be able to get unranked to GM on this Baptiste right away, but you don't have to force yourself, especially with this the moment where we are. You don't have to make it harder for the situations where it's like I said, it's unreasonable to play that character. Well, it's maybe
Yeah.
reasonable to some extent. Again, depends on the goal. If I want to be only one tweaking that character, that's okay. But if not, I think it's fine. You have Kiriko. You can also potentially add. Well, what was there? The BAP is pretty good for Brawl and Poke. You may add another long range support too, but the long range situations are more.
I
It's
don't
rare when you have the poke situations right now. So
I
yeah.
don't like most of the support cast. I don't I don't want to play most of them. Like I could maybe I don't want to play Juno or Lucio
Mm-hmm.
or Myra. Like maybe Iari or Anna. would
Yeah,
be the only.
those are poor characters, actually. Well, they applicable for the long-range situations. Those can be okay to add. You can potentially expand to 3 even. That's what I usually recommend. That's how I would do as well. Even when I didn't know this idea, brawl, poke, dive. Well, I sort of knew. And then I would just have something like Orisa for the poke, because before it was more of a long range character. I had Ryan for the brawl. I had something like for the dive was Winston mainly, and for the support cast I did the same. For the DPS, I tried to. Well, it's I mostly practice Tracer at that point, maybe a little bit of Doomfist, but yeah, if I invest time into the DPS more, I would definitely do the same. Like try to make sure I have those 3 characters for each category. That works out the best, to be honest. There have been situations I just been challenging myself in a way, trying to one trick Doomfist or Tracer, and made it reasonably hard when I have the spoke map. I'm playing versus spoke comp. I don't have dive either, and I play Tracer. I just getting poked out and becomes so hard. And I wouldn't play Tracer. No pro player
Mhm.
wouldn't play Tracer in there too, to be honest, probably. So it doesn't make
Right.
sense.
They play Sojourn or something.
Yeah, exactly. You can play Widow, you can play Surge, you can play Ash potentially, but not that character. So
Yeah. Just very comfortable with BAP, I guess. So
yeah, again, you can decide. I'm just saying, maybe this is something you can consider. See how it works out. You don't have to fully commit and say, I'm always going to swap based on this and this, comp, and such. See how it works out. Maybe try out a few games. Then you can consider maybe you stick to that approach or you keep playing BAP more. That's okay, to be honest. And here, there was not about that, though. Yeah, like we said, there was keep the distance. Yeah, we just a little bit off this topic, this particular fight. But anyway,
yeah,
just talking about the future games overall.
right. I mean, I think remember that thing I sent you from Spilo, I don't know, some months ago or something. It was about the practice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty accurate. I like it. Yeah, that's
In
how I
that
feel. Yeah.
I think he said 2 characters.
Well, I
I think.
can I can exactly find.
Well, I'm not saying 2 or 3. Well, I have it on my phone. I can look, but he he said,
I got it. I can screen share. Give me a second. It's on my list too. I use it as a full reference too,
okay.
so I'll not forget. It's around here, basically around this level. For two
Yeah, so
characters,
there's
it's
2.
typically enough, so it's not. I agree with that. I would potentially. I don't think you have to exactly stick to 2 if you're already comfortable. We may add third, especially at masters. Oh, they already added. Yeah, the masters it's 3
For
characters,
Master, it's
but yeah,
3, yeah.
and
That's what I
around
was saying, 'cause we
this
can
is pretty
time these
accurate.
2.
Mhm.
Alright, so just BAP and Curie.
This can be fine. Yeah, this is usually okay. Uh,
I thought well, okay, at least I'm not having to so I remember last time being
they even said in silver,
very
and see, this is what I mentioned. If you're already comfortable with the concept, I would
you know,
push you to play that second. Actually, they have the same
yeah,
idea here.
all
It seems.
every time. Yeah, I remember last time we went through this, and I was just very I was like, "Okay, I got the diamond, whatever," and then you're like, "Alright, learn another character," and that's when I learned Kiriko, and it's not starting from scratch with Kiri, 'cause I feel like I ended up being better on her than with BAP, but I just spent all last season pretty much only playing BAP. It was my second most hours in a season, and now I'm like, "Ugh, I gotta swap to something else and get uncomfortable again."
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely the part as well where sometimes we think that yeah, another character have to start from zero, but not really. A lot of the concepts they can transfer. A lot of the concepts are pretty universal, so it will
It's
be.
definitely not 0. I got again, like I said, my win rate with Kiriko that season was way higher
Yeah,
than BAP's,
yeah,
and I was doing tryhard FFA all the time with Kiri.
yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, so maybe from now we can you can also add that your picture too. Just make sure you keep in mind, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes there are gonna be times, because this is the part of the game. If you playing the right character, you make it easier for your team, for yourself, and just for your well, like, when you play against the enemy team, yeah, maybe disable their win condition in a way. So, yeah, that's right. I think with this, it's even not too bad to play Kirit too, even you have this. You
I think
could
it works
start leaning
good.
towards this short-range approach this way, but yeah, it's also on the short-range map sometimes, if there's somebody taking angle, you can also try this out, like Reaper, Surge, maybe you can enable that, but well, the map is okay, but just keep playing like we said with those long-range sightlines. You have more poke in this case. It can be doable. I think it's fine. Just keep the distance from angles, you rotate, you instantly... I think a lot of people underestimate this part too. You can definitely take advantage of that too. Like
Hmm.
I said, when you have this space you're fighting for, if you're on the angle, but it's reasonable range where your second support, especially able to support you with resources, which we on they can, you
Right.
should be okay. Just make sure you're not isolated like it was at the first fight, and it will be fine, to be honest. It feels a lot of times people tend to be more stacked against the dive. I don't think you have to. You can play angles, make sure those not as deep, and then because you control the open space, it makes it easy for you to deal with the divers. Honestly, if your team is rotating even over here, you can even think about starting somewhere here, maybe trying to win the fights if anybody is gonna contest you, get that one kill. Also, not too bad, to be honest. It feels that
It
we
does feel like if I do that though, that like ball and
like
tracer come after me.
yeah, this is true. That's why sightlines. If your team is relative like here, Wuyan will be able to support you. If not, then at least starting here might be okay to fight for their space, I think.
Okay, because
Because
I was trying to think play with my team because of their comp.
yeah,
I was doing that.
it's uncomfortable. You definitely have to stick together more because they have dive, but you can, like I said, when you have this capability to receive the support because of line of sight, because of the range, you should be fine as well. You can be okay-ish. So this is definitely something to think about. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any specific questions as well about this game? Maybe there gonna be some com changes. I'm not sure. It seems they keep playing.
They swap off of ball
Mhm.
after they lose one or two fights. Again, I think I got carried this game, to be
Hmm.
honest.
I see. You guys starting make the a difference at the second point. It feels well, which you should be, but now you swap. You actually have the Genji Reaper, so now it's gonna be more of a short range situation for you compared to them. So just need to make
Yeah.
sure that in this case, I would play Kiriko right now. This is one of the cases where Kiriko can be better. By the way, it's just dive. They have more poke. Okay, enable my dive. Kiriko is good. Bap is more awkward in a way. A lot of times with Windows, just get kill sort of stuff. Maybe. Yeah, space is pretty volatile as well. When you have the dive, they kind of in, out, in, out. It's usually more
Yeah.
complicated. Yeah. I think it's definitely one of the cases where character swap will feel more comfortable too, to be
What do
honest.
you okay, so I know you haven't seen I haven't played
Hmm.
I think last season, let me check. Uh yeah, I had 1 hour on Kiriko last season. So maybe you can't answer this question without seeing it, but is there
Yeah.
something I should focus on when I'm like coming back to the hero? I haven't played her in a while.
Well,
And probably
I would start
Genji, but
with the same things as we started before. I usually start with the map control, so angles deep, flanks more. I think support the flankers, Genjis, tracers, especially, and yeah, all the other fundamentals will stay the same. I would start with angles because it's just gonna be more short to medium range support, and you can take deeper angles. So keep that in mind. That will be fine. And make sure
Okay.
you don't have to just start playing Kiriko only. Like I said, you can see the situation. Like this situation here allows you to play Kiriko. You're fine with just committing to play her in
Right.
here.
Should I plan my alt?
You mean when you play Kiriko?
Right, to get like to get comfortable again. Should I don't know. Because what I did last time was I basically one tricked Bap to diamond, then one tricked Kiriko to diamond on an alt account, then came back to my main account and would try to play either one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking, should I go back to my alt account and basically try to get that Kiriko to diamond and then come back to my main and yeah.
I don't think you have to get to any specific rank. Like I said before, I think it's just you don't have to. You can start at once you're familiar with the concepts, you're fine. Maybe just get more. Measure your progress through the. If you implement the concepts correctly, the angles idea, the timing is if it's on point, just go on the main, back on the main. I don't think you have to spend too much time on the
Okay.
other account. You
Okay.
may, yeah, I don't think you have to get to any particular rank, to be honest.
Because again, and it's just I guess the thing for me, the higher I go, the more fun the games tend to be. It's not that it's not fun at all
Yeah.
in lower ranks, but I'm just like, if I'm swapping onto Kiriko and I lose those games more often, then I'm, back down to lower plat, and I'm like, oh, now I gotta carry more.
Hmm.
I don't know. Just a thought. Maybe not the best thought or really relevant, but
No, I think it should be fine if you practice the character for in the situations where you should be playing the character. Then those games you play like 10, then 100, you get better and better. It should be okay. Honestly, when you coming back in the game, let's say you just had a break, that's okay. You start with playing two characters right away. It's fine. I think it's okay. Learn some approach. Yeah, make it comfortable. It should be fine at any given rank. To be honest.
should I?
Mm.
So the other thing is, um, the BAP has only been banned once since I've been playing, and my my teammate trolled me and banned them.
Oh,
He's never been banned. Yeah, I was kind of annoyed.
yeah. It's
um, but Kiriko gets banned, not like a ton, but maybe 10 to 20% of the time.
mm.
Maybe 20% is too high. I think they actually released the ban stats. I could probably go look right now. But
Mhm.
I'm just asking about like, should I pick Kiriko first so then my team doesn't ban her and
Uh,
does
well,
BAP never get banned?
I think look at the map and then pick the character you think it's more comfortable. You're more
Okay, that was
comfortable
yeah,
with, and
yeah.
after that, when you see the comp, you make final adjustment. You don't have to just stick to always picking that one specific character nonstop. That's fine, to be honest. Make
Okay.
sometimes if the Kiriko is banned, let's say, but you still play with the dive, well, whatever. You just have a only choice to play BAP. It's fine. It happens. There's less percentage of that happening, but there's still gonna be percentages of the game where the Kiriko is not banned in the situations where you with the dive, so it's fine. That's why also having third character is even better for the long term. Maybe you can also just have more comfort swapping.
What's the
But
I mean, can you play Anna and dive?
And then, well, it depends on the map. If you have good sightlines for Anna, it's fine. For example, Gibraltar, you have long sightlines at the same time
Mm-hmm.
while contesting the top. So Anna is decent with the dive. At Numbani, same story. You can play sort of main angle. You can support the top still. Also fine. Defense, Anna with dive there, also fine. Look at the maps. We will be adapting later on. Mm-hmm.
Well, what would you say is the other, if there is one, like dive support other than Kiriko? Lucio?
Well, you could be playing Lucio in Syria. Yes, possible. There are also some. Let me
Okay,
see the characters.
not doing that.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to think that you need two for each category if someone gets banned. No, just have three or two. Two is enough. Two is enough. Yeah, you don't have
Because
to.
I was kind of thinking like Anna fills not the same role as Bap, but especially Iari. Like I feel like they're very similar.
Well, they're similar
So
with the pressure, but not similar with the support. The BAP is really good at supporting stacked
okay.
pressure, AoE
Hmm.
heals, and does not provide continuous support this way, only nade. Mostly
Just
it's
nade.
more support here and there. That's why she's also good with the dive too. I can poke the Genji, support the Genji, support the Tracer, support my
Hmm.
Winston, be everywhere. Alari sort of also does this a little bit, but in a different way. I think she's not as good with the dive, but yeah,
She can't
depends.
heal. Cannot heal dive really.
Yeah, exactly. It's harder. The pylon placement is going to be important. Maybe you can support the active angles this way, but yeah, it's harder for sure.
Okay, because I'm just well, I guess it's 3 heroes once I get to masters, right? If that ever happens.
Yeah, it's all
But
right.
for now, 2 is fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine around around three characters in the
Okay,
long term.
because like anytime there's a flashpoint map, I really do want to pick Kiriko.